And the heart of the system is this module in the middle called the Chor. It's a two-part module. This side is a sync generator, and this side is a 4-channel output amp. The sync generator creates the sync that the rest of the system uses to keep everything in sync, horizontally and vertically and color-wise.
Right.
And if you want to genlock the whole system to an external source, it will genlock to that outside source. Otherwise, it runs internally and it creates the sync on its own for the system. The other half is this output amp, which is actually 4 separate output amps. And the output amp is something I came up with in the 70s as a way of taking any kind of signal you throw at it and turning it into legal recordable video. So it's garbage in, video out.
Okay.
So you can feed it audio, you can feed it video, you can feed it noise, whatever you feed it. It chops the signal voltage-wise into the appropriate size, cuts the timing properly, inserts the appropriate sync, and what comes out the cable then is going to work properly on any monitor, record on any recorder. So it's legal, stable video. And then this one has 4 of these. So you can get a main output and 3 previews, 2 mains, 4 main outputs, however you want to use them. So right now I've got these 2 monitors hooked up to 2 of them. And I have the cable box hooked up to the Genlock in. So we have 1 signal coming in from the cable box and 2 signals going out to the 2 monitors.
So what kind of non-video signals people use through this?
Well, you could feed a microphone in, you could feed a radio in, you could feed any audio signals in. Audio generally in video just looks like a bunch of streaks. It's not visually that interesting. If you analyze the audio in some way, like you create a voltage that follows the amplitude, the volume of the audio, that a lot of times is more interesting because it's a slower moving thing that varies with the volume of the audio. The audio itself generally comes out as just like little streaky lines on the screen. So visually, straight audio is not always that interesting. It depends on the frequencies. To be visually interesting, it usually has to be down around the vertical range, which is 30, 60, 120 hertz, 240 hertz, that general range, or up around the horizontal range, which is up around 15 kilohertz. So
in audio, what is that like?
Audio starts at about 20 kilohertz and goes at 20 hertz and goes to 20 kilohertz. So the very low end of audio is around the vertical range. The very high end of audio is around the horizontal range. The majority of audio is in between, and that's where there's not that much visually interesting in that range. So, you can get things, but generally, since it's not in sync with the horizontal or vertical, generally it just looks like moving streaks on the screen.
Can you give me this number thing? Because I actually want to write down
what, the audible range or the
what
vertical and horizontal?
Yeah, because this might be something that I wonder if this will come up on the software side too in the same way.
It does.
Sure.
But Dave is talking about a standard definition NTSC television signal.
So that'll be different than
correct.
Other kinds of video.
But hearing is the same. 20 hertz, below 20 pulses.
Is the same.
Correct. Below 20 a second, it doesn't sound like a tone, it just sounds like pulses. Okay?
Thumps.
There you go.
So
It depends on the
is sort of the
low end, 20 times a second.
Okay.
And then 20 kilohertz
hertz is typically considered about the low end of what you can hear. And 20,000 hertz, 20 kilohertz is considered the high end. Most people can't even really hear 20 kilohertz.
My hearing when I last measured it topped out at 14,500 hertz.
Yeah, most people maybe 15 kilohertz, maybe 18 kilohertz. 20 is
babies.
is considered the high end for somebody with good hearing.
And for NTSC, you said the vertical was
The vertical, which is starting at the top, go to the bottom,